Hello. It's been a few months since I've come back and made a little update about my life and real estate. It's been a wild ride in the past 3 months. I know the 6 months prior to that were really difficult for me, but I think these past 3 months were probably harder. I worked harder. I took on more jobs outside of real estate just to help pay my bills. In 6 months, I made $4,000 in real estate, which was awesome. Did it help? Yes. Was it all I needed? No. So I am lucky enough to be able to kind of randomly start businesses, and I started a house cleaning business, which is cool. I live on the beach, so we get a lot of vacation rentals here, and it's nice cleaning houses indoors, but it's not my end goal. It's just something in the meantime until I can really do the things that I want to do. And it's been tough because constantly switching gears from job to real estate is really, really difficult on the mind. And honestly, I cried myself to sleep a lot. And it was because it was so stressful, 16-hour days, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and just pushing until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I don't know if that's 16 hours, but it feels like it. I hope it is. And just knowing that real estate is my future and feeling how difficult it is to get there is, I'm grateful for it, but man, it is hard. Real estate is hard. Luckily, in these past 3 months, I've had some really cool opportunities to meet some really great people, and it started to propel me forward. What I'm really thinking is that, 9 months isn't a lot of time to start a business and for it to flourish. And once again, if you listen to the internet, they say businesses and real estate is made in 1 and 2 weeks. And maybe that's an exaggeration, but that's what it feels like. That's what everybody wants you to think. And you're probably listening to me and saying, "Yeah, Bill, that's not true. You know that, I know that." But the internet wants you to make it feel that way, and it's hard not to hear it from the internet as a whole because they want to promote their thing, and it's not easy, and it does take time, and it probably takes more than 9 months to really see true success, just like anything. A little side note story is when I was a little kid, I always wanted to live by the beach. And, now I do live by the beach. And I wanted to live by the beach because I wanted to be that cool surfer kid. And now I'm 37 and I get to be that cool surfer kid. But in my mind, that cool surfer kid is really good at surfing. But in reality, a 37-year-old Bill is on a crappy foam board that he bought secondhand from a surf shop that is cool. It's not super cool like you see the cool kids, but it works, and it takes me a lot of time and it's a lot of practice. It's hard work to surf. You have to read the waves, and the ocean's always moving, and the wind and the tide, and there's just a lot going on. And in order to get good, it just takes lots of time and practice. And that's one thing that I'm really getting more perspective on through surfing, is it's helping me see that, like, okay, Bill, surfing the ocean is just like real estate. You're learning, things are coming at you, it's always changing. And you think you see something that's going to work, you think you see a wave that you can take in, and then it just crashes on your head and it ducks you underwater and turns you around and scares you a little bit. Same thing with real estate. I think I see something that is going to bring me to the land where I don't have to worry about money anymore, and then boom, it crashes. On the flip side, just like in surfing, when you know what you're looking at, eventually you can read the wave and you can ride it in and you can stand up and you can be awesome. You're not pro surfer awesome, but it feels good. It's awesome. It's an accomplishment. And those wins are coming quicker for me now. When I got my first deal, it took 6 months. My second deal, I wanted to get in 3 months. Well, it was basically 3 months to the day. And I got my second deal. It was $5,000 for an assignment fee. And how did I get it? Well, I have been promoting and working with sober living operators to help them find real estate. So my main objective is to find the operator's real estate that works for them as a rental property. But every so often, well, not every so often, more often than not, the property doesn't work for sober living for, one reason or another. It's not a bad thing. It just is the way. It's a very specific set of instructions that have to be fulfilled in order for a sober living house to work. So I was noticing that I was having to turn down a lot of wholesalers, investors, whatever, that would come my way with properties. And I needed a second exit strategy. So when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Bill, how about this property?" And if I have to say no, I don't want to just say no, see you later. I want to say no, but I've got another investor who this house will work for. And that's what happened this time. It was a beautiful house in San Antonio, real low interest rate. The problem was it was a little outside of the area that the sober living operator was looking at. Other than that, it was a great house. It probably would have worked. And I just sent it over to a few people. Reed Clanahan, awesome guy. He does buy the room rentals, and I sent it to him, and immediately he was like, "Yeah, I want this. This is a house that I can do a lot with." And I asked the wholesaler, "Hey, is it cool if I market this house prior to sending it to him?" And they said, "Yeah, that's no problem." And basically it took I don't know, it felt like forever to close. The anxiety of ups and downs. Will it close? Will the paperwork go through? Yada, yada, yada. But it closed. We got it done. And that felt really good because now it's more than just one. It's two deals I've done. And the other really cool part about my journey in real estate and SubTo in general is the relationship I've been building with Caleb Christopher. And I had to basically buy my way into his friendship. I say that caringly, lovingly, but respectfully, because he's a really busy person. And I had a question that I didn't know how to get answered. And the group did an okay job, Facebook group. I don't know, it's hard to put in words what I was trying to get answered because it was a numbers thing. So eventually I just paid the $450 an hour for a consultation with Caleb, and we talked about some things. We solved the problem that I had. He explained it thoroughly, and then we started talking about some other opportunities that he has. And here, fast forward, I don't know, 5 months later, something, feels like forever, but we meet twice a week for an hour or so every time, and we have built a creative underwriting course, which is a free course. And we built that because we want to enable wholesalers and investors the best chance of success. And it's kind of selfish why we built it. And we built it because wholesalers were bringing us opportunities that they had under contract, but they were not great terms. And our best guess of why they weren't great terms is because they didn't know what great terms looked like. So in the course, we teach them, what great terms look like and how to get there. And yes, of course, it does use Caleb's calculator. And if you're in SubTo, you've got it. Caleb's calculator is free for you guys. But if you're not, that's something that you could purchase. And the whole journey of creating Creative Underwriter has also been kind of a dream, right? Because there's this dude, Russell Brunson. You may have heard of him, may have not heard of him. And he's got a site, software, SAS service called ClickFunnels. And it's amazing stuff. It's fun. It's content writing, it's marketing at its best. And I've been following this guy for years. Read all his books multiple times. When I was hiking the Appalachian Trail, I would just listen to his books while we walked, and I'd listen to him over and over again because they're really great. The content in there is amazing, and I just wanted an opportunity to flex my muscles with that, and I got that. I have that opportunity now with Caleb and Creative Underwriter, and I would have probably never had that opportunity if it weren't for SubTo, if it weren't for 16-hour days, if it weren't for crying myself to sleep, because I know what the end goal is, and the end goal is freedom from life. I don't know if freedom from life is a good way to say it, but time freedom, where I can make money while I sleep. Because ultimately, I don't want to be bound by a paycheck. I want to be able to do what I want when I want and not have my money rely on me spending time away from my family. So, long story short, life is great. I still have some stresses around money, but they're getting better. And if you're thinking about SubTo, joining it, or you're just struggling where you're at in SubTo, hit me up. And if you're looking for some sugar-coated story about how you're going to be okay, you're probably not going to be okay, but you'll make it through it. Like you'll probably cry yourself to sleep too, and you'll probably get stressed. And if you give in to that, you're going to fail. But if you just live in that stress and accept it, you'll be okay, because it'll turn over. It'll turn around. It always does.